Avoid going to Japan without knowing this phrase. So you might have heard Japan's borders are finally reopening. Bakana. Unfortunately, Japanese natives are not the best at speaking English. So if you even consider going to Japan, I want to share 5 important phrases you have to know before going to Nippon. Each, you have to say Itadakimasu before you eat. Close your eyes, just close your eyes and imagine you just ordered that fresh Japanese ramen you've been waiting years for. You're sitting, waiting, finally it's in front of you. You smell it. So you decide to start slurping like crazy and hey, did you even say Itadakimasu? You didn't say Itadakimasu, did you? So nakamas in Japan, food is truly respected. Some people say not even a single grain of rice should be wasted. Mottainai. And in order to show that respect, everyone in Japan says Itadakimasu right before they eat. And it sorta means I'm grateful and I humbly accept this food that has been prepared for me. So literally just say Itadakimasu right before you eat and then you could start eating it like Monkey D. Luffy. After you eat, just say Gochisousama, which means I humbly accepted the food and it was umai. Ni, if you want to buy something in Japan, perhaps a little gift, you have to say Korewa Ikura desu ka? To break it down, kore means this thing that's close to me, wa is a particle for a statement, ikura is the one that says how much, and then desu ka makes it a question and polite. Now in most cases, the items in stores in Japan will have a clear label of how much that thing will cost, including tax, so it's pretty useful. But if you're staring down that Gundam, maybe even a Japanese pottery nabe perhaps, and it doesn't say how much it is, you want to say Korewa Ikura desu ka? And you can also just say ikura desu ka, which means how much. San, this one you will use the most often, you would hear it the most often, it's Sumimasen. Sumimasen. You should know by now that Japan is a country that's made out of respect. So try to show that respect right out of the gate. Before you start a conversation, you could just say Sumimasen. And Sumimasen does literally mean excuse me, but in context of Japan, you could use it so many ways. Because a lot of people do ask, like, when do I actually use Sumimasen? I want to show some respect, but when do I use it? I'll show you. You'll use it when, if you bump into someone in a train, in a crowded train, you'll say, Sumimasen. Even say thank you. You could say, Sumimasen, arigatou gozaimasu. I sounded like an old grandma there, but you know what, it worked. Getting someone's attention. Sumimasen, bonsai wa ikura desu ka? How much is this little Japanese bonsai tree? I promise you will get used to saying sumimasen in Japan, because not only will you start using it and show some respect, you'll hear everybody say it like I just told you. Yong, if you haven't learned Japanese yet, you have to say these 2 phrases. First one, Nihongo wakarimasen. Nihongo wakarimasen. And then, Eigo wa hanasemasu ka? Eigo wa hanasemasu ka? So first one, Nihongo wakarimasen. Nihongo means Japanese. Wakarimasen means I don't understand it. And the second phrase, Eigo wa hanasemasu ka? Eigo means English. Wa is a particle or for a statement. And then hanasemasu ka? Are you able to speak it? Can you speak English? Now, if you have time to study Japanese, I made an Intro to Japanese course on Skillshare where we go over each and single hiragana so that you could pronounce each sound in the Japanese language. Also, you will learn how to write it along with me. Now, if you say Eigo wa hanasemasu ka? Can you speak English in Japan? The truth is that most Japanese people are pretty proficient at reading and writing the English language. Like I do promise that. But speaking, you might have heard, is a different animal. They didn't learn speaking, they didn't practice speaking. Their own English teachers couldn't speak English that well, so they're a little bit nervous about speaking English. So if you ask Eigo wa hanasemasu ka, they might say no, they can't, but most of the time it is because they're nervous and not because they don't want to speak to you. They're just a little nervous, you know. It's a little. If someone told you to speak Japanese out of the blue, you might be a little nervous too. Go. 1人、2人、3人、4人、5人、6人、7人、8人、9人、10人. You have to be able to know the counter for humans. Now that sounded a little weird, but this one, if you know how to say it, you look a little smart in Japan. They'll be like, hey, that guy knows Japanese. So in Japanese, there are a thing called counters, which just like 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, you would use it after certain objects or certain kind of things. Like for animals, it's like hiki. So usagi ga, the rabbit, ippiki, 2匹、3匹、4匹、5匹. There's 1 rabbit, 2 rabbit. But hiki is for like little tiny animals kind of thing. There's things for like thin paper or like money, or anything paper. 枚、1枚、2枚、3枚, and 4. And there's also one for like stick-looking things. But for humans, it's 人 for the most part. Because the first 3 is a little bit unique. First up to 3 people is pretty unique. 1 person is 1人, 2, 2人, 3, 3人. So up to 2 people is unique. 3人, and then 4人, 4 people, 5人, 6人, 7人, 8人, and then so forth. So 人 right after 2 people. Now you might be saying, Matsu, when am I gonna use this when I go to Japan? This one I'm not gonna use. Well, if you're traveling in Japan, whenever you go to a hotel, restaurant, cat cafe, dog Shiba Inu cafe, owl cafe, they'll ask you, 何名ですか? Which means, how many people is it gonna be? And now you can say, 3人です. Me, myself, and I. Thanks for watching the video. Like and subscribe to join the nakama to Japanese fluency, and peace.